teach you that I've created to just help myself initially and then my team and customers to be able to really understand the steps that are necessary to be able to send out your campaigns. So go right into it. It's so easy, anyone can do it. And so it really is a simple system, and if you use certain processes, which I'm going to teach, I'm hoping that you'll be able to just have it like a checklist that you can go through and be able to even do it months in advance, so that if you're new to SendOutCards and getting used to the system, a lot of the steps that I'm going to teach you are going to help you next year and make it even easier to be able to send your cards. And so I love these little cards with the kids on there. That's so sweet. So the holidays just got easier. An important key to success is self-confidence, and an important key to self-confidence is preparation. I love this quote by Arthur Ashe, and it really underlies kind of a word picture I'm going to give you in terms of my three-step process. And I really liken it to when you're getting ready to paint a room. And so there's different steps in painting your room. You clear the room out, you clean it, you get the masking tape, you cover things. And so that preparation part is so important to the final product in painting the room. And the actual act of painting the room is very easy once you have the room ready and prepped. So I liken that to SendOutCards and being able to send out your campaigns. And it'll make more sense as we go forward in terms of my three-step process. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to create and send amazing holiday cards and gifts with ease. So as the holidays approach, this is the perfect time to learn how to use some of the great features built into your SendOutCards account. Now the focus is going to be on the holidays, but I love campaigns, and these skills can be transferable to sending a campaign for, say, a sympathy card, a birthday card, or a get well card. So I'm going to move right along, and in this workshop, I'm going to teach you how to add photos to the outside and the inside of your cards, how to create and send campaigns. And a campaign is when you send the same card to multiple people with the salutation being personalized in each card. You can also send a campaign to one person, so multiple people or one person, which is really nice. I will show you how to create groups so that you can send the same card to multiple people with a single mouse click. And we'll also review how to edit individual cards in a campaign before they get printed, send gifts and gift cards with your greeting cards. And although I won't review it in this particular webinar, we will talk about how to get information on how to import your contacts from another database, and then using your own unique handwriting font and signatures in your card to personalize it. And of course, at the end, we will build any how-to questions. So let's get going. So basically, step one of a three-step process is, as I mentioned earlier with the analogy of painting a room, it's preparing to send your campaign. And again, this could be done months in advance. And so whether you're sending your Christmas cards out now, you're preparing to do your New Year's cards, or considering Valentine's cards, you can do these steps ahead of time. And then, of course, the triggering of the card is super easy and super fun. So you can submit your handwriting template to the corporate office, and that's a great way to personalize your correspondence. I'll show you where to go and how to do that. Show you where to go to watch some system training tutorials. And incidentally, I will be providing anybody who is on this call with my three-step process, and it's in a checklist format. So after the webinar, I'll have you email me and you can gain access to this. So watching system training tutorials to teach you the skills that you need to be able to import your contacts, understand Picture Plus 2.0, how to create and send campaigns. Great way to review some of the steps I'm going to teach you today in this webinar. Next is adding new contacts or importing contacts into your contact manager. I'll show you how to do that. We'll create groups and add and then add your contacts into your group. So that's a fun little process that really makes it easy to be able to not only send cards to the people that you want to send cards to, but also to be able to have a record of it for next year. Update addresses of contacts in your SOC account, which is really important from year to year because people move and maybe your nieces or nephews move out on their own and need a contact of their own instead of being with a family. So that is an important part of the process of cleaning up your contact manager and updating it. Next is to create new campaigns in campaigns and name them. And I'll show you that process. You'll notice here that I've created the group Christmas 2013 Family and Friends, and I've also named the campaign Christmas 2013 Family and Friends. So for those of you who are new to the SendOutCards system, what I'm explaining to you right now might not make a lot of sense. So just sit back and just understand that what I'm doing is painting the broad strokes for you on the process. And in just a moment, we'll go right into the SendOutCard account and I'll break it down for you. And then, of course, you'll have this checklist after the fact to be able to refer to. I do know that there's a number of people on the call that have been on webinars I've done in the last couple of weeks. And so I trust that this process is going to be even clearer to you, especially if you have this checklist in front of you. So the next thing we'll do is I highly recommend is to send a test campaign to yourself before triggering the holiday campaign, whether it's your Thanksgiving card, your Christmas card, your New Year's card. And then once you get it back, then you can take a look at it and edit it as needed. And I really have, highly recommend that process because invariably the text might be a little larger than you wanted it to be once you see it printed. There might be something that you want to move, an element or a picture, or even swap out a different picture. So that's really good to be able to do that with one card before you trigger hundreds of cards. And of course, in preparing to send your campaign, the last step in this process is to make sure you have sufficient points and expense funds to cover the mailing, because you don't want to have to, while you're triggering it, to go back and have to, to add points and expense funds to your account. You can certainly do that, but I recommend putting that on your, your checklist and taking care of that. So we're going to go ahead and go into the account now. And so I'm in, actually my husband's, we have a customer account. So we have a distributor account that we work out of, but we also have a customer account that we use. And I'm using this for this demonstration. As many of you may be customers, and I want to make sure I keep that streamlined and clear for you. So we're in his account, and the reminders are there, the expense points and expense funds, return address is set up. Okay, so now we're going to go back and review the steps in preparing to send a campaign, because from this vantage point, I want to be able to show you where to go to get the handwriting template. So from Help, Downloads, just page down. And let's see, that's not good here. Let's see. Let me increase that. Okay, so I have a little widget here that is not letting me move it. So excuse me for a moment here while I move my widget. Okay, so what I'm going to do is page down to H for handwriting font form with instructions. And if I click on it, it will load. And there's a 3-page form. It gives the instructions on the first page, sample, example, and then a template. So you're definitely going to want to, take a look at page 1 and 2 and print page 3 in color and mail it in. And you can have your own personalized handwriting and signature incorporated into your account. Highly recommend it, and it's a great way to personalize your cards. So let's see here. I'm going to go back. Let me see, I'm a little stuck here. Okay, let me go back to menu. Okay, so I showed you where to go to get your handwriting template. Now, Frankly, if you're sending your handwriting in right now, it's going to be about 2 weeks. So this may be something that you do if you're sending out New Year's cards at this point. So watch the system training tutorials. Again, you go to Help, Tutorials and Media. And for sending out your holiday cards, what I recommend, there's lots of great videos here, but the 3 little video tutorials that I recommend are how to create and send a campaign, how to import your contacts. So the how to create and send a campaign is about a 5-minute little video. It's very well done and really lays out everything I'm going to go over. I'm just breaking it up into 3 steps to make it more manageable. But the process is all outlined here. How to import your contacts. It goes over that process and in detail. And if you have any questions, you can call customer service or your upline sponsor for that. And the 3rd one I recommend for the holidays is how to use Picture Plus 2.0, and that goes over how to incorporate elements and templates and pictures in your card, which we'll go over in a few minutes. All right, so you've made your handwriting, you've watched the tutorials, and now it's time to start getting ready to send your campaign. So we're going to start and go from contacts, and again, we're going right down the prepare to send your campaign checklist. We're going to add new contacts or import contacts into the contact manager. So that's where you could do that manually, going contacts, add contacts, and you could just from your address book add the addresses into your SendOutCard contact manager. You can import them into the SendOutCard account, or you can even send cards to people, and that builds your contact manager. The next step would be go to contacts and create groups. So I love groups. It really helps you to organize your contacts. I love it because it's a way for us to be able to send our holiday campaign to a certain group, and also it's a way to have a record of it for next year. So I'm going to go ahead and create a group called Christmas. Let's see, Christmas, and I'm going to call it 2013 Fam Friends. Okay, Christmas 2013 Fam Friends. That's the name of the group that I'm creating. So it's going to blink for a moment, and there it is. So I can still edit that group name if I wanted to, or I can remove it. I'm going to page up, go back to main menu. The next step, we've created the group now. We want to put the contacts in that group. So we're going to go to Contacts, find a contact, and we're going to page down, and you can see all my groups here. So there's the group we just created. In the interest of time, I'm just going to, because I just created that group, there's nobody in that group. So I want you to look at groups as folders. These are file folders. And now we're going to put contacts in that folder. And so the process is basically clear the group selection. And what I found is because I'm sending this particular campaign to family and friends, I like to have my family group, and I am going to take the time to show you this. So there's 41 family members in that group, and then there's 68 friends. So 68 friends and 41 family members. So we're looking at 109 contacts there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to combine those 2 groups for this particular mailing, because the content of the campaign will work great for family and friends. So again, that is an empty folder. It's blank. There aren't any contacts in that group. We know that family has 41 contacts. Friends has 68. So I'm going to just pull both of those groups up, and there's my 108. And now I can go through this, and I can actually uncheck whoever I decide, okay, I haven't been in contact with them for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm doing this intentionally here just to get to a certain number. 7, 8. Okay. So now I should have 100 contacts that are checked. And those are the people I want to send a Christmas card to. So I'm going to add check to a group. And I could create the group here that I already went ahead and created Christmas 2013 Fam Friends. So I just call up the existing group, and I'm going to submit it. So now essentially what I've done, if I go to Contacts, find a contact, is I can circle back around here and clear the group selection, Christmas 2013 Fam Friends, and I should have, voila, 100 contacts. So I just basically took my family and friends group, which has grown in the course of the year. You know, I've added friends, I've updated addresses, maybe I have a niece who moved out on her own. And so I prefer to do what I've done here is combine my family and friends group, which has been updated, and create a group, Christmas 2013 Family and Friends. And I just take the moment to tell you that because I prefer doing that over just adding the people from 2012 Christmas into my 2013 group, because that group has not been updated. So that's kind of my method for my madness there. So we have 100 contacts in a group, Christmas 2013 Family and Friends. Now, the next step in preparing is to go back to main menu. And I like to circle you back to main menu just to get your bearings. And we're going to create the campaign now. So we're going to go to Cards, Campaigns. And I have lots of campaigns here. I kind of call this my campaign vault. And they live together, so I want to keep that same kind of a system going in how I name them. I'm going to create a new campaign, and I'm going to name it. So as I mentioned earlier, I name it the same name, Christmas 2013 Fam-Friends. Okay? This is an opportunity for me to change the mailing address if I wanted to or needed to. And where it says company, I like to write Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, get well, happy birthday, because the first thing people look at when they're receiving mail from you is the return address. And so I like to put some kind of a little greeting there, thinking of you. And what's fun is people say that's one of the things they love about getting cards from me is they always enjoy the message. And I didn't realize how impactful that was, so I always make sure I put something there when I do a campaign. So we named the campaign, we modified the return address slightly, and we're going to go down and save the campaign. That's just a habit that I've gone in of saving it, and it blinks and it says your campaign was saved successfully. And now we go ahead and page down, and let's go to step 3 now. Create a new card for this campaign. All right. So this is card 1, and we are sending one holiday card out, but our system also allows you to send what we call a drip campaign. So you could potentially, with our system, send a card once a month to your A clients, say. And it's triggered the first card, and then the second card goes out a month after the first one, and so on and so on. So, but in this case, we're just going to send one card. So we're going to click Continue. Takes us to the card library, and today I'm going to go ahead and create a card from scratch. Last time I did this webinar, I went ahead and pulled one from the contact manager, or excuse me, the card catalog. So I'm going to actually do both very quickly just to show you the process. So I'm in the card catalog, and I'm going to page down, and there's different categories on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and click Holidays, and then Christmas. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull a card. So again, I'm doing this intentionally to show, you know, 2 different processes, but in the end, I'm going to create a custom card. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a card of this orientation here. Let's see. Sure, let's pick this card here. And I have the option of picking, sending this card as a postcard, a 2-panel card, a 3-panel card, or a big card. Now I'm going to choose to send it as a 2-panel card. I see that it has an inside greeting message in it. And, oops, I got rid of that. Let's try that again here. So I'm going to go ahead and send a 2-panel card. And the reason I'm going to do it this way is I just want to show that with a stock card and a campaign, here's the front of the card, what I like to do immediately is click Continue, Continue Without Gift, and set Save Card. So now this card is attached to this campaign. And if I want to get back inside and finish the card later, I can. So it's, again, in part of the preparation, maybe you don't want to create the card in one sitting. So this is a blank card inside. Maybe you simply want to just choose your card and at a later date come in here and send the card. So I'm actually going to go back to main menu. So I'm going to imagine, I created my campaign and coming back to it from the main menu, Cards, Campaigns. And so now I have a focus if I'm going to work on the inside of the card. I have my picture that I want to use. And I'm going to go ahead and find the campaign, Christmas 2013 Family and Friends. And I'm going to click Edit. And I've already named it. I've already finished the return address. But now I've decided, I want to create a custom card instead. I don't think I want to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay. I'm going to blink, come down, and there is not a card attached now. Okay, so I'm starting this process again. And I hope that makes sense what I just did. I chose a stock card. I wanted to show you how I like to save it immediately, even without writing anything in it, because what if your cat steps on your cord, which has happened to me? What if the power goes out? What if you're working on a card and you hit the wrong button and you lose it? So just like a Word doc, save it so you have a place where you can be able to build from later if you should lose power or something. So what I'm going to do now is create a Picture Plus card. So a Picture Plus card is basically a custom card. You can start with a clean slate, and you can create horizontal templates or vertical templates. And basically that means, do you want your card to open like a book or top to bottom? And the decision is usually based on the picture that I have, because I want the card template to correspond with my, the orientation of my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a 2-panel vertical template. And unlike when I have a stock card that I immediately go and save it, with a custom card, I like to put the picture on the front first. So I'm going to pick a template. And templates are simply pre-created or elements that are pre-created by our design team. And there's different names for them. They have different holidays. So there's some new Merry Christmas ones that our company just added to our line this year. And I'm going to page down a little bit. There's Happy Thanksgiving and Halloween and Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's ones. I'm going to go ahead and page down because I know there's a Be Merry one, and I like the Be Merry one. So you notice I have like a little, I can open and close, or I can, like a blind, I can pull up and down to access the template. So I'm going to put my cursor in that template, and I can click on the template. I don't have to drag and drop it, and there it is. And so as I'm looking, all I need to do is click on the template, and it will preview for me. So I'm going to decide, I think I'm going to try that one. All right. So now, as I mentioned to you, let's go ahead and continue. Continue without gift, and save the card. This is a habit that I've gotten into and I teach because, again, maybe that's all I want to do for that day is just identify the outside template for that card. And I want to come back to that at a later date. So I've already circled the round one, so I'll just stay here and go into Edit. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish the card. And I could have added a picture ahead of time. So now I'm going to go back to the front of the card, and I'm going to go to Pictures. And I have Cyndi and Curtis folder, so these are things I've done already. And I'm going to page down and see if I can find a picture that I want to use. within that folder. So let's go ahead and try this one. So now with pictures, you do drag them. Now, unfortunately, the bow and that little label are in the way. So I want to show you that the great thing about templates is they're little elements that are already created for you, so it makes it super quick and easy. But it also gives you the flexibility to take the template and break down the elements or move the elements where you want them. So it allows me to take this little tag and pull it down, and with that little circle with the arrow, I can actually flip it around, and I can move it so that it's positioned however I want here, and bring the, so you notice that as I put my cursor over things, they turn yellow, and then when I click on it, it identifies that particular feature and allows me to manipulate it. So I'm just going to turn it ever so slightly, and then just kind of massage it a little bit here by pulling this tag out, maybe hiding that little circle. So you just play with it until you're happy with it. And in this case, it's easier for me to make that smaller than to keep moving that around. So I'm just going to ever so slightly. There you go. Okay, so that looks good. And if I wanted to, if that was still not quite right, I could make that smaller. So there you go. Now, with just a few little changes, now this is workable. So let's go into the inside of the card now. And one of the things that I like to teach also is get rid of those text boxes in the beginning. Because especially if you're new in manipulating the SendOutCards system and building your cards, it's just one more layer to have to work with. So we'll add those blank text items back later. So right now, we got rid of them, so it's a lot easier to manipulate. So let's see. Let's go back to template. And I was at, let's see, I was looking at Be Merry. So let me check the Be Merry ones again and see what I want to put on the inside of this card. I'm thinking I like this one. So I'm going to click on that panel, see how it outlined it. I'm going to click on that template, and it fills it in. So I have Merry Christmas on the outside, and the colors are matching. So I'll go ahead and just, I like the From Our Family to Yours. Then I'll come over to Elements. And remember I told you that the elements are simply, or the template is simply a bunch of elements of that same theme. So let's come over to Be Merry, and you'll see what we call wallpaper, which is basically the backing on here. But instead of having to build this from scratch, I was able to click on the template. And now I can come over here and say, well, let's see. Why don't I go ahead and use that green? But let's see what else is here before I do that. Oh, look, there's a green bow. There's some ribbon. There's different kinds of tags. There's a little deer there. I really like this flower. So I think I'm going to bring that flower over there, but whoa, way too big. So let's make it smaller. And let's see if there's anything else. Oh, look, there's different wording. How fun. I could change the wording from Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays if I wanted to, or Let It Snow. So, okay, now I've scoped it out. I know what's here, made my decision. I'm going to go ahead and pull this green wallpaper over. And what I recommend is instead of starting here and, fussing with it and manipulating it, which you can, I like to position it in the upper left-hand corner or one of the corners, and then just pull the toggle down. And I encourage you to be generous about doing that. So you don't want any white showing at all, because it really affects the quality, final product, the quality of the final product. So just know that this moves around a little bit. Now, look what we did. I chose that flower, or the chrysanthemum, I guess it is, and then I decided to put a backing on it. And instead of like fussing over this and, which one should I do first and how do I get that in front, here's a little trick. Just click back, and it pulls it forward. So that's a really nice little trick. So be sure you can use the forward and back buttons. All right, let's put one more picture in here, and we'll finish up. Let's see. I'm not sure if I, in this account, have a lot of grandkids. Let's say I want to put our grandkids in here. And so I pull that up, and there they are. It's a horse, and it's a cute picture. Now, I want to go ahead and write my text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Add Blank Text Item. I have a text box, and I like to position the text box where I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and type my message. So I'm going to put Dear. Now, I'm going to use, I think I will use Wendy. Actually, we'll use my Curtis's handwriting because it's in this particular account. I'm going to make that an 18 font. So here's something that is really a great feature using campaigns. So what you're going to want to do is Dear space, and then come down to Insert Name, add the first name. I personally only use the first name. I don't use spouse or other of the drop downs for the mail merge because of the way I set up my contact manager. So I actually add the husband's and wife's name in the first name mail merge. That way the outside of the card has their name, and it also fills in their name in the inside of the card. And I'll show you how I can modify it later. So Dear first name, comma, and then I space down, and now I can type my message in here. So I'm going to say something like the season. Well, see, I'm an English major, so I can do this. The season of giving and gratitude is upon us. Period. Okay, I'm just going to write a quick little message so you can see how we are reminded of all of the things that we are thankful for, period. Having you in our life is a blessing. So there's a little message that I wrote, right? And what I like to do is tighten that up as much as I can and center it. I can even put it in, change the color of the ink to green, or let's go more colors. Let's match that ink up. So you see there's a little eyedropper? We'll take that eyedropper and we'll grab that burgundy color, and we can even adjust the saturation on that, make it lighter or darker. And say OK, and now the ink is that color. So what I like to do to be able to make full use of that field is add another blank text box and pull down the blind, if you will, so that you could very easily manipulate it and make it the size you want. And then here I'm just going to type Merry Christmas. Now I'm going to center it, and I'm going to go ahead and use Easter buns, which I like. And let's make it 25 fonts. Let's try 30 fonts. So just play with it until you're happy. And again, I could have put this in one text box, but if I'm putting a lot of things in a text box, sometimes it'll max out. And this allows you to have a little more freedom in moving things around. And again, if I decided I wanted to make that a different color, I could make that black too. I can do whatever I want for a little more contrast. Let's go back and add blank text box. Again, before I move it, I'm going to pull the blind down. I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm going to move it. Whoops, now sometimes that happens. You notice I click over to the right often to reset. Move my text box, and I like to slant it so it looks a little more organic. And my little flower is a little big for me, so I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so now in this text box I could type, and it's going to be a big font here until I adjust the font size to, let's say, 18, and let's make that Wendy. So I have my favorites. This is what I'm doing here is what I do all the time. I just love, I know I've played around with the fonts long enough to know what I like and what I don't like, and In some ways I'm kind of boring about it, but I just like to be able to, so there's, I can use that color, or I can move this, and again, grab that color. Either way. Be consistent here. So with blessings and love, and then I'll just add our signature, insert signature. So Curtis and Cyndi. So let's go ahead, since it's family and friends, let's just do Curtis and Cyndi. And whoops, let's go ahead and make that 35. So there you go. I'm not sure if I really like that black. So you can experiment until you can find a color that resonates with you, that you like. We're going to go back to the burgundy here. Okay, so there we've got it. Dear first name, the season of giving and gratitude is upon us. We are reminded of all the things that we are thankful for. Having you in our life is a blessing. And again, notice now I used the color that was one of the default colors, and I noticed it doesn't match, so I can go back and grab that color again so that it will match. All right, well, I'm happy with it. So I've looked at the outside, I've looked at the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Continue without gift, and save the card. All right, and it's saved right there. So now that we're still on the prepare part. So we've created the new campaign, we've named it. We were able to come back even after, selecting the card that we wanted and flesh out the inside of it. So now we're going to determine, okay, now I need to decide how much postage I need. So I have 100 contacts in my contact manager. I have a 2-panel card, and I've added images inside that card. So that is now a 3-point card. So 2 points, 1 point for each surface, and then the additional point for all of the different templates, elements, and pictures that I've added to that card. So I know 100 times 3 is 300, so I really need to add about 60. I always tell people add another 25 to 50 points so that you have, you don't want to get yourself down to 0. So I'm not going to go through the process of that right now, but I would add another, say, 70 to 100 points to my account, and then I would also calculate if I'm going to send 100 cards times 46 cents postage for each one, I would need a minimum of $46. So again, I'm not going to do that right now, but that is the process that you would go through before you send your campaign. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and we submitted the template for the handwriting, looked at the tutorials. I'm hoping this makes a little more sense to you as we connect the dots. Added the contacts from the contact manager or manually, added the groups and named it, updated your addresses in your contact manager, created the campaign and named it. Of course, sent a test card if there's time. So it's not too late to do that for New Year's. For Christmas, I would just go ahead and send it off. So let's do the next step now. The next step is sending your campaign. We're going to start at the contact manager. We're going to look up an individual or group to send your campaign to. Then we're going to select the campaign, name of the campaign you want to send from the drop-down. Click Send, Campaign to Check, which is right to the left of that. Verify the cost of a single or multiple card campaign, and then click Continue to send your campaign. So that's the process that we're going to go through, and let's jump back into it and be able to see the actual process. Okay, so we have done the preparation, everything we needed to do to get ready to send the campaign. Now this is the easiest part of the 3-step process. So the thing to remember is when you're sending your campaign, you always want to start at contacts, not at the campaign. That's the error that people make a lot of times in sending campaigns. So we're going to go to Contacts, find a contact. We're going to page down, clear the group selection, and we know we have 100 contacts in the Christmas 2013 Family and Friends. And so we're going to pull that group up, and there's 100 contacts. Now, for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and just uncheck everybody because I didn't put sufficient points or expense account to cover the postage. And I'm going to just go ahead and click a couple people here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, do one more. Okay, so I'm going to click 5 contacts. And then so I can send this to everybody in the group that's checked, or in this case, I'm just going to do a modified campaign. So send campaign to check, select campaign from the drop-down. And remember, we named it the same as the group, so we named it Christmas 2013 Family and Friends. Select contacts, whether it's the entire group or select number of people in the group. And then remember that the next step was send the campaign to check. So pull the group up, send campaign to check. It's going to calculate. So I have 5 times 3 is 15, and 46 times 5 is $2.30 in postage. So I'm going to click continue. Calculating it, and now it's giving me the message, campaign successfully added to the queue. So I can go ahead and close that out. So that was great. I went ahead and basically sent my campaign. Wow, that was fun. So now the next part, let's go back to, we reviewed this, we started the contact manager, we looked at the group or individuals, select the campaign from the drop-down, we clicked send campaign to check, we verified the cost, and clicked continue. So the next step here is to edit your campaign. This is the third step in the 3-step process to create and send your holiday cards. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check or verify your campaign. I'm going to show you where to go to do that. You're going to have the opportunity to modify the message in your campaign, add a gift or a gift card to your campaign, and of course, have a cup of tea, relax, and enjoy the holidays. All right, so let's go back to your account. And to view the cards that are in the queue, we're going to go to Cards, Campaigns, and this is the way I recommend when you're dealing with campaigns. Now remember, your campaign lives here. This is the campaign vault. We created a new campaign by clicking on this button, but what we're going to do now is step 3, edit your campaign. I encourage you to click on View Unfulfilled Campaigns, and there's all 5 of the campaigns. Now, one of the reasons I really like coming from this, this basically location and using this process for being able to bring up your the cards in the card history is because it names the campaign. So at this time of year, you may be doing your Christmas cards and your Thanksgiving cards and your New Year's cards around the same time. You might have cards for your family and friends and for your prospects or for your work people, your church. So you can have a bunch of different campaigns in the queue at once. And this way you can easily sift through them and be able to just edit them. So what I can do here is from this vantage point even, I can just say, I forgot Richard moved. I don't have his new address. I'm going to take him out of there. So it allows me from even at this point, are you sure you want to cancel the card selected? I'm going to say okay. So I'm going to go back into, so now I have one left. So that was easy. All I have to do is check on them and I can delete it from the queue. Another option is Michelle and Luke just had a baby, one of our 6th grandchild. So I'm going to click edit. The reason it has edit twice is this could be scheduled to go out, say, the 15th if I wanted to. Edit again. Now the system's jumping around at me, so I'm hoping it's not affecting this transmission. But I'm actually going to overwrite the mail merge feature here, where it says first name, and I'm going to go ahead and back that out because I'm going to say, Dear Luke, not Lukey, Luke. So the timing is a little off for me right now. I'm not sure why. Michelle and Ethan. So baby Ethan was just born. Having you in our life is a blessing, and it's a joy to welcome baby Ethan to our family. Oops, I-L-Y. There we go. Okay, and if I wanted that to be centered a little better, I can manage that. Just move my text box over. So now I've added Ethan on there. I've personalized it, so maybe I wanted to put Dad and Andrea instead of Henry and Andrea. So it allows me to go in here and continue. I could change the return address if I wanted to. I could put Baki and family. The thing to understand is any changes I'm making to the inside of this card or to the outside of the card, they do not affect the campaign, or they do not affect the contact for that person. So I will still need to go into the contact manager and add and family if I wanted to, but it does give me the flexibility. So from this vantage point, SOC Gifts, I could add a gift. I could add a gift card. I can go into Christmas, and I could add 12 Days of Christmas card if I wanted to, or a winter berry centerpiece. So I can put in here whatever I wanted to put in here. So let's put in Christmas cooking set. Gosh, there's a lot of gifts that I saw the other day that aren't here. Countdown. There's all kinds of fun stuff here. So let's say I just want to send Christmas cards with gift tags. So I click on what I want, buy now. It calculates the points and the expense funds, and I go ahead and send the card. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time, and we're almost finished here. Winding down here, but I'm going to circle back one more time, and I'm going to go to Cards, Campaigns, View Unfulfilled Campaigns, because I want to show you that we deleted one, but Michelle and Luke are no longer in here. And again, this is why I like to bring people to Cards, Campaigns, View Unfulfilled Campaigns when you're editing your campaigns, because as you're working on them, it does update it and pull it out of here so that it makes, it's a working list for you. So I can go in and continue to add the children's names for other grandkids here, or leave it alone. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing. We're going to go to Main Menu, and we can go to Cards and Card History. So many of you may be used to, when you are looking for cards in the queue to modify them, going to Cards, Card History, and then click Search. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So all 4 of the contacts show up here. Remember, at the Cards, Campaigns, View Unfulfilled Campaigns, only 3 showed up because this one had been modified. All 4 show up right now, but you notice it doesn't indicate the name of the campaign. So if you had several campaigns that were going at once and you wanted to modify them, and maybe Michelle and Luke were getting a Christmas card and a New Year's card and you wanted to modify them, so it just makes it easier. I really like being able to, check the cards in the queue using the View Unfulfilled Campaigns. You certainly could always use the card history, and the card history can actually be accessed as well from the account drop-down. So let's just recap here. We went ahead and we verified our campaign. We went to Main Menu, Cards, Campaigns, View Unfulfilled Campaigns. We modified the message in the card if we wanted to. We could add a gift or gift card. And then, of course, the best part of all is relax and have a cup of tea. And one thing I will do in the interest of time, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but I'm coming back to the account and always, verify the points at the beginning, and I usually write that down, and then the expense funds in at the end to make sure it calculates it properly. It's nice for peace of mind too, when you're able to do that. But for the gifts, if you want to peruse them, we've got these wonderful holiday wreaths and arrangements. We've never had those in the past. It's really fun. Great way to use your points. So we're going to go to gifts and send a gift. And this is where I like to go to just look at the gifts. So they have gift cards. We have 3 pages of gift cards, American Express and Target, and all kinds of wonderful gift cards that you can add to your holiday cards or at any time of the year. And then all gifts, here's another vantage point where you can look at the top selling gifts, books and CDs, card size gifts, which I love during the year, brownies, 2 brownies, 4 brownies, premium gifts. So I'll just quickly show you. You can get 4 really fresh, yummy, decadent brownies for 20 points, the standard shipping. And so that would be something you maybe want to send to yourself as a little treat for Santa on his plate for the kids. Signature wrapping is 32 points, and that could be for your clients, or the premium gifting maybe for your A clients. You have your brownies in that that crate. Go back to all gifts, and I'll just show our premium collection, which is new as of this summer. And we have a shopping cart now, so you could create these crates yourself and just put different items inside of it, or you can come here and look at the pre-created crates. So we have Heavenly Medley, which is a lot of yummy, decadent chocolate stuff. I have this Nature's Picnic, which is really nice. So for 312 points. So if you've been accumulating points in the course of the year, this is a great way to use them. And instead of having to buy a card and buy gifts and wrap them and then go to the post office and wait in line, consider using your points to send these either to yourself for a party or to somebody else, and be able to really, enjoy the quality of the gift and the ease with which you can send it. So just want to show you that you can send these gifts to yourself without a card, or you can go into the create a card, or once the card's in the queue, and add a gift at any time. So I will just finish up here by going back, and ta-da! So I wish you the best this holiday season, and I hope you enjoy using your SendOutCard account to de-stress the holidays. And I hope that the 3-step process that I've created to help organize the different steps are helpful. And I can tell you that, the first year that you send out your campaigns, there's a lot of steps in terms of just the handwriting and watching the tutorials and getting used to the system. But it does get easier, and it's very fun and rewarding. So I'm going to go ahead and end up. I had a little class today, but the holidays got easier. If you are interested in receiving my 3-step checklist, I encourage you to email Cyndi, email me, and you can receive a 3-step checklist. I have slightly modified it since the last webinar that I did, and so you're welcome to request it again. And you can send an email to Cyndi at CyndiO'Dady.com, and I spell my name CYNDI at CyndiO'Dady.com. So Diane, are there any questions to field, or how are we doing time-wise here? And
well, we're just